Recently, cryptocurrencies and ICOs have been in the center of attention of lawmakers who try to prevent this problem. It's still not clear, both for ICOs and for investors, if they should request a special permit for their transactions from their regulators. So, who is responsible for transactions in Switzerland?
In Switzerland, the body is called the FINMA. It is not specially designed to control the transaction with cryptocurrencies, since it's a general independent regulator. Basically active in the Swiss financial market. Its task is to supervise activities of banks, insurance companies, investment trusts, dealers of securities and asset managers. The main purpose of this agency is to protect creditors, investors and insurance policyholders.
But for a long time it wasn't really clear how to work with transactions and ICOs and tokens. So could you please explain to me how to make the security for the investors, though it was good for business that they didn't need to request any permit?
You're absolutely right. Legal uncertainty deprived investors of even a hint of protection from a state and regulators. A wave of fraud that has been noticed in the sphere of ICOs recently led to banning this kind of transaction in a number of Asian countries. Investors in Switzerland may now feel much better since FINMA has passed its verdict, and now transactions with cryptocurrencies fall either under the anti-money laundering law or under the securities law.
But could you remind us, please, what is so special about the ICOs?
An ICO is a special form of crowdfunding based on the blockchain technology and for the issue of token that give a right to a future product, dividend and other financial instruments. Legislation regulating financial markets can be used for different elements of an ICO. However, there are no regulatory requirements related to an ICO. Neither is there any jurisprudence nor a unified legal doctrine.
What is the point of this official FINMA that came out on the 16th of February in 2018?
The point is that the regulator explained on the basis of which criteria ICO projects will be assessed. When controlling an ICO, the FINMA will focus on the issues of functionality, the right of token transfer before the ICO itself. And here we have to base our rationale on the classification of tokens. As you may remember, tokens can be of several types, either a cryptocurrency itself, like for example a Bitcoin, or a digital counterpart of shares entitling you to dividends. These are the equity tokens. There could be tokens that are a credit instrument, the debt token, or utility token, giving you a right to use a product or a service in the future.
But then how FINMA will regard on ICOs in accordance with these principles?
On the basis of these principles, FINMA have singled out three basic types of ICOs. The first one is the payment ICO. It clearly falls under the action of the anti-money laundering law, since in this case, tokens are a legal tender and can be transferred. However, tokens will not be regarded as securities in this case. Then we have utility ICOs. The tokens will not be considered as securities if they give the exclusive right to use services. As soon as they have an investment function, these tokens become securities like investment ICOs. The investment ICOs, in their case, general provisions of the obligations code are applied, and for example, the obligation to publish a prospectus.
Could you just please summarize the position of the Swiss regulator in just 2 words?
In a nutshell, cryptocurrencies fall under the action of anti-money laundering law with all the consequent requirements and procedures, and the issued tokens can be deemed as securities and regulated by the provisions of the law.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing this with us.
Sophia.
Today with us was José Carreira, the IP Global Solutions partner, and me, Sofia Bizbogina, the journalist of the Expat magazine with the support of Dukascopy TV. See you soon again.